All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the absolutely fascinating and, let's be honest, pretty radical system of a figure we only know as the Bitcoin General. We're going to break down this entire worldview piece by piece. So, let's get right into it.
So this quote right here, this is the key. It's the starting point for literally everything we're about to unpack. The general's whole philosophy starts with spotting what he saw as a fundamental, critical flaw in how traditional militaries are set up. They're completely dependent on government funding, which can be totally unpredictable. For him, this wasn't just an annoyance, it was a massive strategic vulnerability.
Okay, so first things first, let's really dig into the problem the general was trying to solve. Think about it. A strategic weakness created because your entire operation, your ability to act, can be shut down by politicians or some budget meeting? That's the core issue he's tackling.
And wow, this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? On the left, you've got the old way of doing things, dependent, always reacting, and tied up in red tape. But on the right, that's the general's vision. An organization that funds itself, has what he calls infinite capital, and has total freedom to act. We're not talking about a simple upgrade here. This is a complete reinvention of the whole game.
So that's the dream, right? But how in the world do you actually do it? How do you break free from the government's purse strings? Well, the general's solution was, frankly, audacious. He decided to build his own economic engine, one that could literally generate cash from the elements.
And here it is. This is the engine. It's this beautiful, perfect, self-reinforcing loop. You start with a big investment in solar and wind to get free energy. Then, you use that free power to run Bitcoin miners around the clock. Those miners generate a steady stream of revenue. And here's the kicker. You just pour that money right back into building more solar panels, more turbines, more miners. It's a cycle that just keeps growing and growing.
Now, what's really interesting is that this idea didn't just come out of nowhere. The source material tells us that the general was a student of history and modern strategy. He looked at the for-profit industries run by the Chinese military and saw a model. Then, he put a modern spin on it, combining that idea with the world's best tech in solar, wind, and Bitcoin hardware. It was about connecting the dots.
So once you've got this machine that basically prints money for you, what's next? Well, you take that same logic of self-sufficiency and you apply it to everything. You create what can only be called an abundance machine.
This is where the system goes into overdrive. The energy is already free, we know that. But get this, the waste heat coming off those thousands of Bitcoin miners, it's captured and piped into geodesic domes to grow food, anywhere in the world, any time of year. For manufacturing, you've got 3D printers that can print copies of themselves and robots that build more robots. And finally, to protect knowledge, armored laptops hold a copy of everything humanity knows so it can never be lost. It's a completely self-contained world, a closed loop that doesn't need anything from the outside.
You know this obsession with efficiency and optimization? It goes all the way down to the words they use. The general apparently hates military acronyms, thinks they just create confusion. So the solution is to borrow from German and just smash words together. A technical manual, or TM, just becomes technical manual. It might sound a little strange to us, but the goal is crystal clear communication, to eliminate any chance of a misunderstanding that could lead to a catastrophic error.
And it doesn't stop there. This relentless drive for efficiency hits the dinner plate too. The easy-eat philosophy is simple. Every meal has to be designed so you can get maximum nutrition in under a minute. No bones, no seeds, nothing that slows you down. It's not about enjoying your lunch, it's about refueling the machine, the soldier, as quickly as possible to maintain maximum readiness.
Okay, so we've built the machine. It's self-funding, self-sufficient, the whole shebang. So what do you do with it? Well, the goal isn't what you might think. It's not about traditional war, but about a new kind of soft power that aims to make fighting completely obsolete.
In this quote, this says it all, really. A self-funded love occupation. The primary weapon isn't a missile, it's overwhelming prosperity. The strategy is to show up with so much abundance, so much opportunity, that the very idea of fighting back becomes illogical and pointless.
So here's the playbook. Step 1, you find a country that's struggling. Step 2, you don't send soldiers, you send the abundance machine, cash, food, jobs, technology. Step 3, you integrate with the locals, training them, making their lives better until your system is indispensable to them. And step 4, well, according to the source, the population becomes so supportive that they just vote you into power. A peaceful, democratic takeover.
Right, but you're probably thinking, what happens when someone does try to fight back? Well, if force is absolutely necessary, the tactics described are designed to be psychologically overwhelming, but never destructive. The goal is to disable, not destroy.
And folks, this is where things get, well, they get really, really weird. The source describes drone swarms that spray a chemical that makes you vomit, drones that blast catchy pop music to make soldiers dance uncontrollably, drones that project distracting or confusing images, while other drones swoop in and literally kidnap enemy leaders. It's bizarre, but the goal is always the same: break their will to fight, capture them, and re-educate them, not kill them.
All right, so we've seen the economics, the logistics, the unconventional warfare. But that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. And honestly, this is the part that is the most radical of all. This is where the system is applied to consciously engineer the future of civilization itself.
It's a program called Operation Mattis Matrix. According to the material, the system actively encourages its most elite soldiers, the smartest and the most physically fit, to have large families, offering them huge incentives to do so. The long-term goal? It's a demographic strategy. The idea is to literally outbreed the opposition, creating a natural majority over generations to ensure you always win at the ballot box. It's a plan to win a generational war without ever firing a shot.
And it gets wilder. To maintain a balance of power with their enemies, who are apparently making these crazy animal hybrid super soldiers with hawk eyes and gecko feet, the generals group gets into cloning too. But their focus is different. They clone great historical figures to see if genius can be replicated, and, get this, dinosaurs. Yeah, dinosaurs. Apparently for their nutritious eggs and as tactical assets that can't be hacked.
So what's the ultimate point of all of this? Where does it all lead? Well, it doesn't stop with just Earth. The final, ultimate goal is ensuring human civilization survives, period. And to do that, you have to become a multiplanetary species. The very first step described is to start seeding places like the Moon and Mars with incredibly tough microorganisms like tardigrades to kickstart the long process of making them habitable.
And if you want to understand the why behind all of this quote right here is everything. It's the core justification. The worldview is simple. Survival is the ultimate ethic. When the very existence of your civilization is on the line, traditional rules might have to bend. Kindness is the goal, but if something or someone becomes a roadblock to survival, it will be removed.
And so that leaves us, you and me, with a really, really tough question at the heart of the general's entire system. It forces us to think about something uncomfortable. If a system actually works, if it brings peace, creates prosperity, and guarantees the long-term survival of our species, how much do the controversial methods used to build it really matter? That's the question the source material leaves for us to ponder.